All right.
Don't get my hairline in the video.
We need to have a competition to see whose hairline's worse, him or Bill.
All the beef. Man. Yo.
You need chicken anyways, bro. You look like you eat too much red meat.
I've lost weight, you fat.
Ooh.
Hey.
Oh. Oh. I want to get you so bad. Like, if anybody in here I could do this to, it'd be you, bro. Like, oh.
Nick, take one for the
Your butt you almost messed up. You almost messed up. Oh, hell, that did.
That's not bad.
Is that? Man, I'm gonna charge this and come back. Did you buy that at your wife's store? Shut up. Do our thing. Cut it out. Where now? You said cut it out.
You cut it out.
You cut it out.
All right, so let me grab one of Luke's wheels, or Luke's old truck wheels. So all you did was tell my wife how much better she talked into that mic than I did.
Well, she also talks more louder than you, or clear. I don't know what it is. You sound like you've got a wind truck over your hand like that. You sound like Kenny off the South Park.
Well, because I'm always like this, and I'm talking to you and I'm everywhere else. That's not very fair. So I'm going to try to hold it right here.
Good.
So
I'm
that,
glad.
So that it sounds exactly like. All he did on the last video was, or he told my wife how much better she sounds than we do, because we don't use this correctly, and apparently she sounds like an angel and we sound like garbage. Okay, so what I'm doing today is just a little personal project for no good reason other than cool. So now that I've got my son's 21 F-150, I want to make it faster. And this is a, what are they? I think it's a 17 by 7.5 factory wheel or whatever. So 17 by 7.5. This one's 17 by 9, which doesn't seem like a huge gain in wheel, but it's actually a good gain, because a couple things. So to keep the tire diameter as close to stock, because I kind of want it to be a sleeper. So I want to run the factory wheels, or factory looking wheels, but I need a little bit wider for the tire diameter to fit, because the tire diameter doesn't recommend running on a 7.5. It says 8.5 that I'm going to run. So I'm going to put these on there, but to do that, because I don't want this center, right? I don't want that. That doesn't look stock. Even if I painted it, it doesn't look stock. That's a stock wheel. So I cut the centers out of 2 wheels. I got them in the freezer. I'll get one real quick. So I cut the centers out, and then I'll press it into this hoop, and I measured my back spacing. I got a wheel adapter to bolt to the wheel, and then so with this and this on the front side of the wheel, when I flip it over, because it'll press in from the back side, so it'll actually like get bolted on here. This is, I'm not going to bolt it all up perfect, but so when that's all bolted up, I'll press this through the wheel until it hits the aluminum on the press,
right?
And then I'll know that it's flat. So the wheel's flat, that's flat. I'll tack it, take it down to the tire shop, make sure that it is straight. So when we balance it, we'll run on the machine, we'll make sure it's all good. And then I'll have these wheels blasted and these wheels. I'll probably just sand these maybe, but I'll repaint them. And then the backs will be 17 by 9s, the fronts will be 17 by 7.5. But it'll give me a little extra wheel, still look stock. I think it'll be kind of cool looking, personally. Just to have like a factory looking wheel, but a little wider, a little trickster-ish in a way. It's a lot of work for not a lot of...
definitely no horsepower gain. Well, you get mechanical grip.
Yeah, it'll make it faster because I can hook, but nobody will notice it, which is cool, because that's kind of what I want. I want it to be a little less, I want it to be a little more inconspicuous. So that's what I'm working on today. earlier this week I was working on the that station wagon. So we got the colors all fixed up on that, matched up, everything's good. Got it painted. And let me show you my run, because you'd think it was my very first time ever painting anything, because I got the run on it is enormous. We got it all painted, color matched, all good and everything. So I got a little run right here. Just a little one. Little one right here. Everybody gets runs. But this one over here, shoot. This dude, this one here.
What happened, bro?
Man,
You got one of those phone calls, you're like, I gotta answer this.
one of those days, man. Just, I guess I wasn't on my game. That's all right, though.
That's all right.
I'm scratching it out. I got this carbide bit from Merca, which is pretty neat.
So what do you just press it flat up against the sheet metal and?
So if you're starting to pull out your run or whatever, you can just kind of keep it like at an angle, and then you can shave it down. So I'm just getting the run off of it.
Nice. Not having to take it back down to bare metal.
Right, so with this, I can pull the run out, and when it starts getting more flat, then I can switch to sandpaper. Because the problem, if you use sandpaper, I'll sand on this, but then it's also gonna hit this a little bit. So you have a chance of burning through. So this carbide bit, I'll be able to run these down. I mean, these were substantially larger before I started with this. But they're coming, I mean, it looks worse than it really is, because it's actually starting to.
No, it looks flat.
It's getting flat.
Like from what I can tell.
I'll take a picture of it and send it to you. I'll take a little video of it. Y'all can see how messed up it is now. We'll insert here on another one where it's all buffed and done. But I'll be honest with you, even if I burn through it and I repaint it, I'm still gonna make it look like I got the run out. But
that's just how you roll, man.
that's it. Hopefully Justin's truck will be done too. Got notification today that the axle shipped from Dutchman. So we ordered custom axles that were a little shorter, but still all the same configuration as the 12 bolt that goes in it. So they'll be here, the rear end's painted, so we should be able to get that back together. If we get the bed done and buffed next week, we can bring Justin's truck over here maybe the end of next week or the first of the following week and put the bed on, tailgate on, taillights, finish some wiring. It's got half a dozen things that need to be wrapped up on it, and then get rid of it. Wheels and tires are going. I mean, I'm excited to see how that thing sits and performs, honestly, when it's all like set up. Be a cool one. Next week, today we're gonna clean out the body shop, and me and Canton will be on Derek's C10 next week, blocking it, while the other guys are on the 56. So it'll be 4 of us in the body shop next week. Block party for sure, which isn't gonna be all that much fun. But with Blake gone and Keenan in here, I won't really have to be like ordering a bunch of parts. Like I won't have to be like putting out anything, because they won't be doing any fab work next week. It'll just be on this, which is pretty self-explanatory. And we'll all be in there. So if I can just stay focused in the body shop, that'd be great, because I think we can make really, really, really good headway on Derek's C10, because I want that to go to Dino's with us this year. I want it to go to Good Guys. Good Guys, I'm thinking it'll go to Good Guys and C10's in the park, like together-ish, maybe running but not finished. But I want to actually finished at Dino's. So that's our goal. So that's what, 5 months away? 5 months, something like that. That's all for me this week, I guess. I mean, I got some really good runs in a Bel Air wagon. Made more work for myself. And that's it.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah. So y'all have a good week, and we'll see you next week.
All right.
We're here with Nick.
That's right.
Another weekly update. What do we got, Nick?
So this week and last week, we've been working on all the jams. Trunk jam, door jams. I had to fiberglass some of the pitting on the A-pillar. But this was really the only bad spot that that had a lot of pitting. So we're smoothing it out. We're gonna eventually put it on a car dolly, but we'll have it polyed. So we'll be able to work the firewall. You can see we did like the whole cowl area, and I can flip it up so you can see the whole bottom. We finished the bottom.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, it's looking good. Knife check, I got a Real Steel.
A Real Steel? That's a brand?
Yeah. So I think it's a Morpho or something like that. It's a Blade HQ special.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But yeah, today we have been outside wet sanding. I'm sure Chase can tell you all about it. But yeah, that's about it.
Well, we're back here with Chase. I seen Chase and Nick sweating their butts off this past week working on this. I'd be driving by and you guys would be out there wet sanded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got it all sanded out. This is Justin's bed. Got it sanded down to wet sanded 600 again. Got all the cracks and crevices. Make sure there's everything's not shiny, which means adhesion. So got all that done. Hopefully painted this weekend. It's good to go. So is the tailgate. We're just pretty much prepping the booth, getting it ready, about to tape it up. And hopefully this will get painted this weekend.
Wow.
So,
finally gonna see this thing get full paint on it.
yeah, it's gonna be red. So
it's not too bad. I'm excited to see that whole truck come together.
yeah, me too. Really, it's gonna be nice. I bet Justin, he popped by today. And he, you know, you could see that smile on his face. He's excited for it.
I know. I'm trying to pick up the reflection off of it because I mean, just over here. I mean, I can tell the paint's gonna lay down nice.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. It should be nice and shiny, and I know dang well it's straight. I blocked this thing probably 3 or 4 times, so it's ready.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah. Sweet.
Awesome. Got anything else or?
The Riker project, I'll have video for that. Got one more coat this weekend, and that'll be done. So the 2 weeks from now will be the Riker. Y'all see the Riker, so yeah.
Right on, dude.
Yeah,
I know it's tough because in case anybody's just tuning in, Nick and Chase both work on everything together.
Yeah.
So I know it's tough to film updates because it's like,
Yeah, pretty much. He does one side, I do one side, and then every now and then we split it and do one door and then the other door. So
I'm just gonna get a final walkthrough of this because, man,
it's pretty dang straight.
I just like seeing the process of all this too,
Yeah.
like seeing where it started and where it ends up.
Yeah. And this is Bel Air.
And this is the hood for the 56. Yeah.
It's polyed on the jams and then urethaned underneath.
Yeah, man, it looks clean. Well, cool, man. Look forward to catching up next week and seeing that Riker progress.
Yeah, it's about time. I'm ready to get it out of the shop, so.
All right, I think that's on. Back on the Bronco.
Well, before we start, last week didn't technically happen, so.
Oh yeah.
So you've got like a whole slew of updates you can give.
Yeah, I'll probably just repeat myself anyway. Like
That's
I feel
okay.
like.
Perfect.
Well, for the most obvious starting point, we have bumpers on it now.
I see that. I'm guessing you did some custom work there?
Oh yeah. You can't just bolt on anything. And it usually doesn't even bolt on anyway, so.
Even if it was made to be bolt on and you weren't modifying, it still doesn't.
Well, the first to start off, to even put the bumpers on, you had to hammer them on with the rubber mallet, so that wouldn't work after the back side of the bumper's painted and the frame is powder coated, so had to relief cut them and squeeze them in just a little bit. So I did that before you could bolt them on, both front and back. And then I took 7 inches out of the front bumper, 3.5 per side, so it was like, which I have pictures before and after. But that's how long it stuck out.
Wow. About a little bit wider than the wheel almost.
Yeah. Which I guess factory, they were trying to make it safe, but we don't care about that.
Right, safety third.
Put the bumpers on, sectioned them, finished them back in. Oh, I mounted these, the overflow.
Oh, those look nice.
Supercharger tank and the power steering pump reservoir. Mounted those, mounted the radiator. I think I talked in one of the videos, or it might have been last week. We used 2017 Mustang radiator mounts and modified them, obviously built brackets to bolt onto our frame, so you can see them under there. This part's the Mustang part and the rubber, and just spun up some little dowels on the lathe out of aluminum, welded them on, and so now it just slips right in there real nice. So, and we were able to mount the radiator to lower so we could have a flush fit right here along with the reservoirs.
Yeah, and I don't even remember the last time we talked if you talked about the new latch or not, but
Oh yeah, well,
if you repeat it, that's on me.
yeah, I think I did a couple times. I think that's one of the things I repeated in one of the videos, but we'll talk about it again. The latch,
You're still tweaking it?
it's just on there so I can mount the condenser, but it saved a lot of room because I think I showed one time it comes all the way down and then you have a little lever that hangs out right here, which is ugly in itself. So now it'll have a pull cable that goes on the inside under the dash. So saved more. We bought it to save more room, but it also is a nice aesthetic situation.
It's a lot cleaner packaging. Like for how small it is, it just looks nice and clean.
And it had some saddles up here that I just cut off and kind of cleaned up the radiator so I could make a cover for it, because they didn't really work out. They were like that long. We couldn't find the factory saddle wasn't wide enough and it had a lot of play in it, so just make a little clean cover that gums up and mounts in these two holes, and which is actually what I'm working on right now. So along with this template for...
Is that the cover you're working on?
Yeah, this is what I'm working on.
Oh, right there, gotcha.
Yeah.
Block off those gaps.
Trying to make a little gap cover so it can flow into the radiator and just look a little nicer. So we'll do that. That'll come this side, make the same one over here, and then cover on top just the radiator mount.
Man, that'll be nice. It'll really dress that up.
Yeah, that'll clean that up. Started trying to mock up the condenser right here.
In the gap in the middle.
Yeah, so I cut it a little bigger. It fit, and it'll probably go over a little more right there.
Is that your mock-up, that cardboard right there? Like, is that where it's gonna sit?
Yeah, well, probably a little higher off under some paint sticks, but that's just the idea. They fell out from slamming on it, but had to notch out the core support. And so it's gonna be a little tricky to get a rubber hose on it. I think we're gonna build some stainless hard lines so we can...
You're gonna like bulkhead it through here or something?
No,
well, I guess you can't really, huh?
It'll come right here.
Okay, I see.
And then come in, bend...
I couldn't see through the grill, but now I see.
Yeah, it'll come through there, around, go straight down. This one will be a little easier, and then I forgot which way that they need to go, but that'll get into an easier spot so we can actually do something with it. And we got a intercooler heat exchanger ordered, and it'll go right in front between the park lights. That's not here yet, probably be here next week, but I believe next week I'll be on the Camaro doing some exhaust work.
Oh, okay.
Maybe exhaust, heat, air intake, and radiator modification, another one.
You're becoming the radiator expert now.
But I guess I've really just been up here. Oh, we got some cool, since we did the body adjustment, we got some, I guess, gap guard. They make a front and rear roll pan to fill this little gap up. James Duff, I think, makes those, so they should be here today, I think. But this should be covering that gap up, but it's not anymore, so that'll fill that. And then the back, I'll section an inch out of the rear.
Oh, you know what? You talked about last week that is the gapping on there.
Put all the weather stripping in it so we can set the windshield so we can know the gap, which it's pretty close. It's a little tight, but I think it works. Need to make some adjustments, but I'm not really too worried about that right now. I was just trying to get the door set so I could have something to work off of to know where to put the rocker in. And so the rocker's in. Need to grind some welds. It's in its raw form, but I'm happy with how it turned out. So
yeah, it looks good.
It's been needing to happen for a little while now, so we finally got it done. And then front and rear bumper are the same, so we just took an inch off both sides, so 2 total. Like I said, we had to squeeze the frame a little bit so it could go on after it's powder coated. And it's not tight, but you can see it's got a little play. Because when I was trying to get it on there, I was actually scraping the inside of the bumper, like shaving it because it was so tight. So, but the back actually is worse. We got another gap filler right there, so that'll take up the gap. And I didn't really want to move the bumpers up, just to kind of keep everything hidden as much as I could, keep them lower. So we went that route, and it's only 1/2 inch, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's looking nice.
And that's it.
I like it.
That's all I got.
That's all you got.
Unless he tells me to do something else.
Alright, we got the Galaxy. Let me just put my toolbox up. This week, bumpers, front, back, modified brackets to fit the actual bumper on this chassis. It didn't want to fit too well, so obviously a lot of work to make it right. New structure for the outside bumper brackets.
See if I can get a shot in here. Oh, I need some light.
Modified both of those, front and back, because I guess on Roadster Shop chassis, they did not design their chassis to work with the side brackets for the bumpers. So without those, you would have got a lot of wobble in your bumpers. Now she's pretty solid.
Solid and stout like should be.
Solid and stout like it should be. Let's see, it took quite a bit of time to square up these bumpers on the car. They fit, but they weren't square. We had a big like half-inch gap over here compared to the other side. They were just kind of catty-cornered. Brought the corners in more to meet. Now they're all squared up, matches the car. Front, back, side, same with the rear bumpers. Mocked up some Mustang headers. They fit. Woo. Chopped off the factory V-bands, welded on, or what are those little clamps? The little, I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
Is it a V-band?
Yeah, V-band. Looks nice.
Put these V-bands on. What else do we do to this old girl? Headers mocked up, bumpers done. That's it, waiting on parts, doing exhaust, and we gotta figure out what we're gonna do with the old radiator overflow. These cars factory had a little reservoir that sat on top that would have filled your radiator, but now this one has no cap, so, and we're not gonna use that reservoir.
No cap, isn't that what all the kids say?
No cap,
yeah.
No cap, something like that.
Have no clue what that means. I might have just offended somebody's grandma.
That's all right. Everybody's offended nowadays. And if you're not offending them, then whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, we did the remote oil lines. I don't know if that was on there last week. If you checked in on that. To get the oil filter up on the front of the chassis. Out of the way, ran some oil lines, made sure everything was gonna clear. Started the AC bulkhead. We've already talked about that. That one's done. We put another AC bulkhead here, so that way we can run our lines. We got an air dryer, which will go right here at some point, but we're gonna hard line it in, hard line all the AC lines, try to get a little trick. That's it with the car.
This car's looking a lot complete.
It's getting there, man. We've done
You've got a lot
on
of
this
pieces
one. Hey,
together
I'll
on
forget
it.
this later. Forget that.
Is that a 10?
12.
12. Those
This
go
is
missing
actually-
too, you know.
This is actually Keenan's.
Uh-oh.
Almost left it on the intake. Alright, that's the update on the car, unless you want to check out the old Cowboy Cadillac.
Yeah, let's go do it.
Let's just start off with the old classic farm truck. Got the farm truck tags. This was my mother's truck.
So you call this the what? The Cowboy Cadillac?
Cowboy Cadillac is what we call this one. This is my baby. It's a long progress, but like I was saying, my mom bought this truck new, used in '97. It had the Regency fade, where it was faded white with the running boards like they did in all the early '90s.
Uh-huh.
She picked it up with like super low miles, and I always told her when we were a kid hauling hay and horses with this truck on our ranch that I was like, I'm gonna have that truck one day. So I finally got it. Full suspension, I tubbed the front, A&K muffler, shout out to my boy Diego. Helped me do the entire back half. We're running Fox shocks, front and rear.
Dude, this is stout back
slam
here.
block, oh yeah. She's got like some 18-wheeler bags.
Yeah, I heard you do bags installs up here at
KC's Paint Shop, hit him up for your local air ride
I know,
needs.
I keep telling him, you know, it's bags is the way
He
to go.
loves
Look at
air
all these
ride.
bagged out trucks here.
He loves air ride. She still needs a lot of work, a lot of cleaning up, but it's on the road. It's on the road. You know, we're gonna keep the old horses on there.
I like it, man. I really like it.
It's part of the Cowboy Cadillac. And why we call it the Cadillac, I mean, obviously it's a cowboy truck, but you gotta see the inside.
All right.
She's pretty pristine for a '97.
I would say so, because
Obviously, you gotta fix my rearview mirror.
you
but
know how quick the interiors on these trucks fall apart.
This truck sat in our barn for a while, and it's been sitting at my buddy Diego's for the last 2 years, building it off and on the weekends when I'm not working. So obviously, it's been a long project. And I'm gonna leave the interior pretty much stock, just kind of clean it up, maybe new carpet, and get some paint on this thing. Stock, big block. That's her.
I like it, man.
That's the longest update you'll have from me. I was just excited because I drove the old beater today.
We're here with the biggest update that I know you guys want to see. Everybody seems to be a third gen IROC fan on the YouTube these days.
Are there a bunch of third gen fans?
I feel like there is, because between the 2 shops that I've worked at recently with IROCs, third gens, people seem to love them.
I mean, they'll be the kind of the next year model cars as people start restoring, right?
Yeah, I guess. I think we're
OBS
already there.
trucks and stuff.
Isn't that generally how it is? You always find something that's cheap with...
Well, now it's getting to the point where I'm 40, so we're like the cars that were popular when I was... actually, these weren't really not that popular.
Yeah, I was about to say, they were never popular.
They were still a little before me. But you know what I mean? Like, these trucks were prevalent when I was growing up.
Yeah,
the OBS.
Yes. A buddy of mine had one, same color as this, that blue color.
Yeah.
And we just used to go ride around lunch, man. He had the subs behind the seat, just bumping.
Heck
good times, man. Good.
Heck yeah. So, what have we done?
It looks like you've done a whole lot since the last time I see.
Well,
you got a reservoir. It looks like you're working on an intake
we put a coolant
here.
reservoir. I'm just trying to, we were kind of mocking things up. I was playing dress up. So, this is like how the intake will.
You knew it was Thursday, so you're like, let's
like
make it look.
A sharp 90.
Jesus, that thing's
like
massive.
4-inch. And it has a little adapter plate in between the throttle body to angle this up. And so
you could fit that.
Yeah, and I think this is something, it'll look similar to this. I think it'll come here, and then it'll kind of be a 90. Air filter will live there. And then this fuse box, we're gonna cut this.
Is that a factory?
This is a factory.
Like
this
GM
is for the GM harness, yeah. So we're gonna cut this probably here, run the wires underneath the heat exchanger and radiator, and it will live somewhere over here.
Oh, you'll probably try and package it somewhere in here with the air intake.
Somewhere where it's easily accessible to get to open your fuses and stuff. And it's because the battery will be over there. Keenan next week is going to make coolant hose.
He mentioned he was going to have to modify the radiator.
Yeah, the lower neck. And then he'll figure out how he wants to route the coolant hose there. I'm off next week, going on vacation. So I'm in vacation mode right now.
Hey, that's all right.
Yeah.
I'll miss you, but
I know. I'm already missing all my buddies.
I don't even know who's going to entertain us next week.
I'm sure somebody will.
I bet you'll be happy to get a week off of tormenting.
Yeah.
Just wait till this video comes out. We got Waters, tortilla slaps. We got taser harassment.
Yeah. It will be nice. We're going to spend 7 days in Arkansas in the Buffalo National River.
Oh,
Forest
nice.
National Park.
Yeah, I like it up there. It's real pretty.
Yep. We're going to spend 3 days on the canoe, or camp 3 nights, and then we got 3 nights in an Airbnb. So we're roughing it for the first 3 nights, and then hot tub in the mountains.
And then glamping the rest.
Yeah.
That's all right.
So
there's no need to live like a savage these days.
I know.
You did give me a hand too with my
working on
my 8.8 rear end, so I really appreciate that.
No problem.
That was pulling out the torch. You still had to hammer the crap out of that. Those bearings were seized.
Still got some finger hurt, man.
All right, well I bring you some. Well, you're not gonna be here next week.
Nah.
All right, the week after I'll bring you some margaritas.
I appreciate it.
Something or a bottle of tequila.
Make sure you bring them during work.
Oh, absolutely. Like lunchtime.
I don't want no 5:30 margaritas.
Bring them at lunch.
There we go. Here's Keenan's list that he needs to do while I'm gone.
So we need to hold him accountable.
I need everyone to hold him to it. He needs to build the air intake, do the lower radiator hose outlet, build exhaust, bump stops for the rear, and mount the heat exchanger pump.
Done.
Get it done.
Well, we're here with the resident parts man.
Yeah.
He's always fetching all the parts from Summit, making trips back and forth. Dude, I see you brought your parts truck out today. This is Tommy, by the way.
Yeah, I brought it out here, let everybody see it. It hadn't been on the road in a while. I've been working on it, so it's back going again. I just got to get Cody to retune it, you know.
I heard you pulling up, man. It sounded like you got a little something under the hood.
Yeah, it's got a little 5.3 in it with a Procharged on it.
Oh, just a little one?
Just
a little Procharged?
Running 15 pounds of boost on it. Yeah, just a little bit of boost.
I bet this thing is kind of fun to just tap the pedal, huh?
Yeah, it'll scoot. It'll light them up.
So what's the history on this truck?
It used to be an old farm truck, an old step-side truck, and belonged to my brother's, one of his wives. Anyway, their grandmother's, that's the only vehicle they had, and it's sitting out in the pasture. And then I went down there one day, and Nizzy his old lady that it belonged to, she called me over and she said, "You want that old truck right there?" I said, "Well, you just gonna give it to me?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "Your brother don't want it." I said, "Yeah." So next day I went and picked it up. It had an old step-side bed on it. And I got it running, drove it around a little bit, and then finally we decided to build it and put a different front end on it, like a 90 model Suburban or a 1-ton front end on it, and found a wide bed, put a different bed on it. Just gonna leave it a patina truck, but it had so many problems. The hood was pretty rotten on it and everything, so just decided to change it up a little bit.
Well, what I love about this truck is it looks like a show truck, but it's a garage-built truck that you and some friends threw together, right?
Yeah. My son and I and 2 or 3 other guys done some work on it, you know.
Let me get here, you want to scoot over and not get ran over by the FedEx?
Yeah. Yeah, this truck's been running about 8 years. The motor was just out of like an 04 truck, and it was just sitting there, and Steve Benson gave me the motor, so my son and his friend had Cam build a cam, and I got that Procharged for my nephew, and next thing you know, we got her tuned, and this thing's putting out like 592 the rear wheels, you know.
Man.
So that's where we're at now, and we've done some changes, so I have to have it retuned now. So
well, that's a party truck if I've ever heard of one.
It's a lot of fun to drive. A lot of people don't know what it is, you know. I've been to the grocery store in it before, and the guys say, old man say, "Hey, you got an alternator bearing going out in that thing." Thing whistling,
because it's the Procharged?
Yeah, the Procharged.
You want to pop the hood so we can show everybody?
Yeah, they just throwed that motor together, put a camshaft in it out in the garage, and put a new oil pump in it. And we never looked at any bearings, never done anything. Thing's probably got 160 or so thousand miles on it now, still running.
Wow. You want to start it up?
Yeah.
Awesome. Is it rear exhaust or side?
Well, I wanted them to go outside, but I couldn't. It was going to take too much off the 3-inch exhaust, so they just dump right.
Oh, so they're dumped?
Just right behind the rear end.
I was just wanting to get a sound sample from back here. Oh.
Yeah, this thing's so loud, my wife can hear it when I get close to the house.
I bet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've heard you stroll through the neighborhood.
Probably
now
have.
that I know where you live.
Yeah.
You took an old truck that was just sitting there, rotting away, gave it a new life.
Oh yeah, and everybody that sees it likes it. They like it because it's pretty plain, you know.
I love it.
Just got the little center caps on it, no fancy wheels or nothing. But it'll get on down the road.
Well, we'll have to, once you get it tuned, man, we'll have to go do some rollers, like, which is where you're driving and I'm filming you.
Yeah, we can do that. We'll light it up a little bit.
And you said you also have another car, right?
Got a 67 Chevelle. It's a little 300 Deluxe with a 468 in it.
Oh,
We're
nice.
fixing to put a 5-speed. It's a manual automatic. It's silver, got a set of buttoning wheels on it. And we've got another 79 truck that's all original, Big 10. It's got like 58,000 miles on it. I'll drive it up one day.
Yeah, man.
It's pretty cool.
Or if not, like sometime I might have to just stop by your shop.
Yeah, come by.
Just
come
bring
by
the camera
anytime.
over.
Check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Look at this. I love this. It looks so nice and pretty, and back here you just still use it.
I've never finished it yet. My son said we need to finish this back of this thing, but I had never done anything with it. And I just throw a spare in there because sometimes I go somewhere in it. I want to be able to have a spare, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's nothing fancy. I got the battery and all that stuff, the battery and the relays and stuff are back here, fuel pump relays. And I just keep a little stuff back here I need. That's the relays, and there's the fuses to the 2 pumps that's in there.
Come get a shot over here on this side.
I just keep a little stuff in here I might need, you know.
Yeah. Well, right on, Tommy. Thanks for bringing it out for us to check out.
Well, I appreciate you getting to look at it and getting a picture of it, you know.
Yeah. We'll catch up soon. Get that Chevelle.
Oh yeah, I'll run it up here one day or something, or you can come by.
Yeah. Sounds good, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.